Hello there. It is Tuesday and it is another Treadmill Talk Tuesday. I did not get a chance to post last week. I created a video and it just would not upload. I had something similar happen a couple weeks ago because of my phone having just too much storage, and I've been having trouble trying to get everything over to the computer. I'm just not technologically inclined, and everything's sort of sitting on my iCloud. I just got to move it over. I've tried a couple times, but in typical momhood fashion, I work, I do all of the things. I just don't sometimes have time to sit down and actually focus on what it is that I'd like to do. This is a hobby, it's fun, but I don't have really a whole lot of time to just be able to focus, a whole bunch of time on that particular task. So it's a work in progress. I kind of, anybody who has tried something at any given time, I think when things don't work out in a certain way, we have a tendency, or at least I do, have a tendency to get sort of down on myself. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I want to do this and I can't do it. And, you get kind of a little bit down on yourself and beat yourself up for something that you just don't know how to do. And I guess it's all just a learning opportunity. So I'm learning. This is all new for me. It's just, I'm learning, and I have to give myself some grace sometimes. This is brand new. I just started sharing stuff and documenting my journey in July. July 1st was my first time actually clicking share and putting it out there. And it's been fairly simple up until recently, and it's still pretty simple, but it's the other stuff that comes with it, like trying to learn how to navigate when things don't work. At that point, what do you do? So those are the kind of things that I'm starting to try to learn. And I know I need better equipment, and I know all of the things. So or I'm learning about all of the things and what it is that I need to sort of brush up on and whatnot. So I was able to free up some storage on my phone. So here I am. I'm recording on my phone, which I'm hoping that I took enough stuff off of it to be able to clear out some storage to be able to do this today. My other video was just a wash. It won't transfer over to the computer, so I can't upload it onto YouTube. I don't have the ability to upload it. It's too large to upload from my phone. So instead of getting frustrated and continuing to get upset about not being able to do something, I just said, you know what, I'm giving myself grace. Last week was one of those weeks where I just said, you know what, it's just not going to happen, and that is okay. Sometimes we just have to give ourselves grace that it's okay. We tried and it didn't work, and we just move on, and we move on to the next time, and we try again, and that's all part of learning, and we do the things that we need to do in order to learn. So that's where I'm at. But anyway, so we're here again. I'm hoping that this video actually records and it doesn't cut me off, and I have enough storage here so that I can do this, and then I can upload it onto my laptop. I did figure out how to upload one by one. It does take time. That's fine. Again, I don't have a whole lot of time, so it's one by one, and I'm able to get some stuff. But I have 18,000 pictures and videos combined on my phone in my iCloud that I'm trying to get over to the laptop, and it's just not working. I can do it one by one. I just can't do it in bulk. I know the select all and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm probably just not doing it right. And that's okay. I'll figure it out. I have faith in myself. I'll figure it out, but I also don't want to rush through it and then lose everything. I have so many pictures and videos of so much stuff that I have stuff in there from who knows, since 2017, even further. I don't want to lose it. So I'm trying to be cautious with what I do so that way I don't lose everything. But anyway, here we are. So it's a new week. It's been a good week. I ran a long distance on Saturday, and it was awesome. I ran outside. It was so beautiful. It was the perfect running day. It was absolutely gorgeous, and it was so fun. My husband mapped out my route, and he found 5 different places that him and my kids met me at, and it was just so cool. It was so much fun. The kids really enjoyed finding me at different locations and running to me. and like, Mom, hi, you know, and high-fiving me and stuff, and then running back to the car with my husband. He was taking videos and stuff, and I'll have to like put that together and upload that at some point. It was really sweet. And we would run back to him, they'd jump in the car, I'd continue running, and then they found me like, you know, a few other times. But it was a long run, and 7 miles has now been the longest, well, aside from Saturday, 7 miles was the longest that I've run since starting this journey in May. And 9 miles is only 2 miles longer. So like if you get to 7, like you can probably get to 9 and then so forth. But it was hard. It was really, really difficult. Once I got to 7, like I was doing pretty good. I was actually doing a pretty decent pace. I was running like around 13:30, which my treadmill, like I think I've talked about this before, like my treadmill and my watch are not the same. And I think that there's probably reason for that. But my watch usually will tell me that I'm running around like a 13:40 or 14-minute mile. My treadmill will usually say it's around 15, just because of the setting at the speed that I typically run at, which is a 4. So when I was outside running, it was like telling me 13:36, and I was like, wow, okay. It's like I'm actually running like a pretty decent pace. I think that that's great. And then like I was pretty much running that consistently until like mile 7 and I was like getting slower progressively. And I think I was running like over 14, probably like 14:50s or close to 15 or whatever the case is. And by mile 7, at the end of it, I was just like exhausted. And I'm like, man, you know, I did 7 miles. I've done 6 miles like several times now. I know I can do this, but I was getting real tired. So I was slowing it down, and that's really, really, really slow. And barely even running. I think I was just like walking fast, but like, you know, moving like I was running. And by mile 8.5, I was like, I don't even know that I can get through this last half a mile. I literally thought I was just going to be done. Like I didn't even like have the energy to like walk it. And then I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Like I have to finish it, because I have to, one way or another, I either have to walk to the car, run to the car, crawl to the car, or somebody like literally has to come and carry me out of here. Like that's not going to happen. So I knew I had to finish it. It was only half a mile. And as soon as I came to that 8.5 mile, my kids were there, my husband was there, and they happened to be talking to a couple other people who were riding their bikes. And that encouragement, like, just like, I mean, that gave me the fuel that I needed to finish. And there was a lady and a husband talking to my kids and my husband on their bikes, and they were just talking and chatting it up. And I could hear my husband, like, I didn't want to stop. I grabbed a drink. My daughter had some Gatorade, so I like chugged a sip of Gatorade, and I was like, okay, you know, gonna meet you guys at mile 9. But I could hear them talking, and the lady was like, oh my gosh, I just saw her, you know, we just drove by her, and she's doing awesome. And I could hear my husband in the background telling her that, and her husband, that I was preparing for a marathon. She's like, that's amazing. And it just gave me like the whole scenario just gave me chills, and it made me super emotional, and my kids, and just the whole thing. Like I think I've mentioned this in the past too. I'm very emotional. Running makes me super, super emotional, especially like you're by yourself, you're listening to music, whatever it is. I happen to listen to a whole array of things, but I love motivational speeches, and sometimes I just get in my mind and I get really emotional. And I was thinking about all sorts of stuff, just my kids being there and encouraging me, my husband, him talking to the lady and her husband about, you know, my journey and just what we're doing, and the reason for why I'm doing this particular marathon and running with this particular team. And I got so emotional. I was crying. But I changed my playlist. I was listening to music. I forget even what I was listening to. But I put on a motivational speech in that time, and I was like, I can finish this. It's half a mile. I've only got a few minutes to go. And I ran it, and I got to the 9-mile mark, and my watch was like, you know, ringing in my ear or whatever, 9 miles, and telling me my pace. And I stopped my watch, and I just stopped dead in my tracks. And there was a family sitting on a bench, where I was, and I just bawled. I completely just broke down and started crying, but I wasn't sad. I was very proud. I was just, the whole thing, like that whole half mile was so motivating and so encouraging and so beautiful and so cool and amazing. And I just stopped and I cried and like bawled my eyes out, like sobbing, crying, like loud. And the family probably looked at me and thought I was absolutely insane. And that's okay. They can. But I continued to walk. I walked the rest of the distance to the car where my kids and my husband met me. And I was just like, I can't believe I just did this. Like, I can't believe that I did 9 miles. Like, I can't believe that I got past that barrier. Like, people talk about it all the time. Like, when you're in the middle of doing something like this, you know, I can run 3 miles and have no problem with it. I wasn't there back in May. Like, I knew I could do it, but it was still hard. And I've gotten to a point now where 3 miles is not hard. It's like a base for me. 4 miles even is not terribly difficult. Like, I do them quite often now, and it's just become sort of part of the process and something I look forward to because they're easier. 9 miles is a lot, and like, people talk about constantly like that push where there's a difference between your mind and your heart and like your physical capabilities. Like, I know that I can do these things. Your mind it plays tricks on you and tells you you can't. I mean, gosh, the things that my mind will tell me, like, you got to stop now because you can't do this. Like, you know, there's so much of that talking that goes on. And in that moment where your feet are like, I can't do this anymore, your mind is like, I can't do this anymore, I think that's when like your heart kicks in and is like, no, we're doing this, and I'm gonna help you through, or whatever happens. There's like a weird switch that happens, and I don't know if this happens in other sports. I've never played other sports. I don't know if this is a runner's thing, if this is like what the runner's high is. I don't really know what to consider it, but it's something that I don't know that everybody experiences. But if you do get a chance to experience it, it's the coolest thing, because it's literally a moment where you feel and think, and just everything about you says, I can't do this. But then there's like this weird switch. And it's not even like, you know, it's happening. It just happens where you do it and you can't believe you did it. Like, how did I just overcome that moment? And it's actually like a really cool experience when you get past that. And I hear people talk about it all the time. I listen to a lot of motivational speeches. I love listening to Fearless Motivation as one of my playlists. I listen to it constantly, and they're always talking about this moment where, like, and sometimes I mean, even if I'm running 3 miles, that last, like, you know, 1/10 of a mile or whatever, I kick it up a notch and sprint in my pretend finish line, and I like cross it so fast, and I'm like, okay, you know, it's a mental thing. But what I experienced Saturday was a very different thing than just increasing my speed and sprinting across my imaginary finish line. It was really almost like an outer body experience where you like literally feel like, I cannot do this any longer. And then all of a sudden something carries you through. And I don't know if that's the heart doing something for your body that you feel in your mind that you're incapable of doing. I don't know I don't know what exactly it is, but it is a really, really amazing, cool experience. And I don't know about others who have had this experience, but in my case, it's so overwhelming that I just cried. And I was like, I can't even believe that that's something that I just accomplished. And it's cool because years ago, I was able to run half marathons, and they were hard. It's not like they were easy, but I loved the half marathons because they were challenging. Like, I was in pretty decent shape back then. I was running constantly, so I could do a 5K, no big deal. They weren't challenging to me. I enjoyed 10Ks because they were slightly more challenging. A lot of times they were fun, and And the 5Ks are fun too, but sometimes like you can run, if you're a runner and you're running 5Ks, you run a 5K on your treadmill or outside or whatever the case is, and they're just, they come and go, they're very quick. 10Ks are slightly more challenging, but half marathon, like they're hard. They take time and they take effort, and I always enjoyed doing half marathons. I haven't done one in years. So to be almost at that level, 9 miles, like, holy crap, I can't even fathom that. I started in May, couldn't even run barely a minute at a time. And here I am pushing 9 miles, and I ran that whole thing. I mean, like I said, I kind of at some points barely ran it, but I ran the whole thing. Like, I can't even believe that. I'm so impressed, and like, just, I don't know, it's a crazy, it's incredible, actually. It's actually really incredible, and I feel very accomplished, very proud of myself. But 9 miles is a lot. And this week on Saturday, I don't want to keep saying Sunday. On Saturday, I have another long run, which is 10 miles. And I'm like, whoo, 10 miles, okay. That's going to be a tough one. 9 miles was a lot. 9 miles was a lot. I'm hoping that my body is like, we've done this before, it's just 1 mile. I'm not sure exactly what to expect. I do know that I feel like I've always said to myself, like, start slow, finish strong. Back years ago when I was running more, I always said pace myself, run slower in the beginning so that way I can push faster and push harder towards the end. I think what I did Saturday was I was like so impressed with myself for my pace that at the end I just was too exhausted. So I definitely think I have to slow down on Saturday and really work on my pacing and know that it's okay if I go a little bit slower in the beginning miles, then I can push a little bit faster, or just push myself a little bit more in the end, in the last miles. So that's kind of my goal. That's sort of the plan, and how I plan to execute the run on Saturday. So we'll see. I will definitely let y'all know on next week, or I guess I'll probably talk about it on Tuesday, but I'll probably post about it afterwards, after my run on Saturday, and kind of talk about it there too. And see if maybe I executed properly and was able to finish a little bit stronger than I finished this last Saturday. Still finished. I was very proud of myself, but I want to also like challenge myself and see like, okay, well, that was a really long run. It was very hard. How can I make it just slightly easier for myself? And hopefully that will help. So we shall see. But anyway, I am going to get going so I can do my run. I have a 3 mile run today. I believe it's a 4 mile run tomorrow, which is Wednesday, another 3 mile on Thursday, rest day on Friday. Saturday is the long run. Sunday is going to be cross training, and then next week starts it all over again. But moving forward, my shorter runs are going to start progressively getting longer. So that should be interesting. My 3 mile runs, I think there's still quite a few 3 mile runs, but it's going to up the ante a little bit, and instead of like 4 miles, it's gonna progressively start getting longer, because it is, I forget what week I'm in. Am I in week 6 or week 5? I forget exactly what week I'm in. I'm not looking at it right now, so but I'm in the middle of training, and it's going to progressively get harder and longer, and yeah, it's a challenge. So it's been great so far. I've very, very much been enjoying my training. I can't believe that I've stuck with it now for this long. I have tried several times in the last few years to kind of get back into working out, running, healthiness, and it just has not stuck. Why it's sticking now, I'm not fully sure. I feel like I have some idea. I also just think I'm in that place in life, in momhood, where I just am giving myself that chance now, where it was like all in all the time. New momhood is a tough one to navigate. So I feel like I'm finally at a place where I feel peaceful and like good, where I can start giving myself back that attention that I sort of lost for a while. And I think my kids are at a really good age where they know what I'm doing. They know I'm training. They're super motivating and encouraging and excited to be there with me and help me through it. I think all around it's been just really different this time around than the last other few times. I'm not entirely sure, but whatever it is, it's working, and I'm very proud of myself for that. But just like anything, we try something, it doesn't work, that's okay. We give ourselves time, we try it again, it doesn't work. Sometimes it sticks and sometimes it doesn't. And like I said earlier, just giving yourself grace, giving myself grace. If something's not working, that's okay. Not over obsessing about it and like feeling super down about it. Just kind of like taking a breath and saying, okay, it's just not working right now. I'm going to try again. And eventually it sticks. And I'm hoping that I continue with this mindset. I feel like I'm so far into it now where I feel very like content with where I'm at and where I'm trained, like where I'm at with training. And I feel really, really good about the whole process. So I think it's sticking. I think it's sticking, and I think I feel really good about where I'm at now compared to where I was before, and sort of what I've tried to do in the past, with trying to get back into, being slightly more healthy, and whatnot. So yeah, anyway, I am going to get going. I got to run. Like I said, I got a 3-mile coming up in a few minutes. So anyway, hopefully this video will actually work and I can upload it and we can actually have a Treadmill Talk Tuesday yet again, and I can upload it and feel happy about that. So, but again, we shall see. Only time will tell. I have no idea. Electronics can be funny. So we shall see what ends up happening. But if you happen to see the video, then that means that it worked, and I'll be very happy about that. So anyway, gotta run.